Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Making dinner for the family can really be a task, but it doesn't have to be. Let's welcome Linzi Sotch from Recipes Made Simple to the table.
Hi, Linzi.
Hello, Linzi.
So excited to be here. A little nervous, but excited.
Oh, you'll do great. This is a good time of year to talk food.
Well, it's always a good time.
It's always a good time.
But
just what kind of food?
Right. This especially so. Okay, so we know I'm not a cook, guys, right? So I'm scrolling through my feed and I come across your stuff and then I kind of look and I was like, this has made it easy. This has made cooking easy. And then the fact that I know you, so I trust what you're saying, right? It was an immediate connection. So tell us a little bit about how you came up with this and what you've been doing.
So when I look so I'm a mom of 4. I have 4 little kids that are 5 and under.
Oh, wow.
So dinner time just isn't really very fun. It's hard to know what to make and everything like that. So when I go to make dinner, I just look on Pinterest and scroll through until I find something. But I always found that I would click on the link and then it would go through their whole blog, and you have to go scroll through all this stuff and you'd get to the bottom and you'd be missing 2 or 3 of the ingredients. And I'd be like, okay, well, I can't make that one. So then I'd go do it again and scroll through. And so I was like, this is so annoying. There needs to be an easier way to see what the ingredients are before you make it, right?
So that's my favorite part of what you do.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm just gonna make it, I guess. I'll just, the recipes, a lot of them are mine, but a lot of them are just your simple, German pancakes or, whatever.
And biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy, yes. And so what I've done on my Instagram page is I have just put pictures, little graphics of each of the items, you need chicken broth and you need chicken breasts and you need, and I just put it all on there. And then the next slide over is just the recipe for it. So for me, it's just been easier so that my hope is for people when they come to it, they can just scroll through and easily look at it and say, okay, I don't have chicken broth, so I won't make that one. I don't have, this, but it's like, hey, I have all 5 of those things, let's make that one. So.
Well, and the visual, to me, is what made the connection. Because sometimes I see the recipe and I get anxious,
exactly what I was
so much. But I'm seeing that picture and it's like a chicken broth can, the chicken breast, you have it just laid out simply, a child could do it, maybe. But then, and then the next slide is simple recipes. And some stuff the biscuits and gravy, it's Pillsbury biscuits. It's not homemade everything, which I love that. Fast, easy dinners.
Yeah, and another thing is a lot of the recipe pages are specifically keto or dairy-free or super healthy. And I'm I'm not really in any of those categories right now. My season of life is not healthy right now. It's not just your made from scratch meals. It's whatever we can get on the table in 30 minutes is what we have to make tonight. And so that's just what I think that's the audience that's followed me is everybody's busy. No matter if you have kids at home or not, or if you work or not, everybody's busy. And so I think it's just nice to have, I just wanted one place where everybody could go and just have all the recipes in one easy Instagram
So how long ago
page.
did you start this?
Only a month or 2 ago.
Oh, you're okay.
And she has just jumped with followers.
Yeah, it's almost, I think I'm at almost 2,000 followers on it.
In a month or 2. So do you have grandiose dreams? Do you hope to make money off of it eventually? I mean, say yes.
I think everyone does with something, right?
Yes.
Right.
I don't know where it'll end. It's just fun for now. I honestly didn't think this many people would care about recipes and stuff like that. So it's fun. One day I did a cooking at home challenge for a week. And so what people were supposed to do is they didn't have to use my recipes, but they could just use whatever they want. And the whole goal was to just make cooking at home easier. Cooking at home, there's so many benefits to having dinner at home.
Yes.
And so I just did this challenge for a week and gave away a Ruth's Chris gift card, a steakhouse gift card and stuff like that. And it was just so fun to see everybody participate. And it was one night, I remember I looked and I got 40 followers in 24 hours. It was just people sharing it with other people, and it was so fun so that's what's fun for me. And then the messages, her sweet daughter messaged me and just said how easy it was to make dinner and how good the recipes were, and I was like, that's why I do it, just to help.
Yeah.
If it helps one person, then.
She sent a group message to our little family, and she's like, this was so delicious. And it was a French bread, sloppy Joe, maybe?
Oh,
is that what it is?
Yeah.
And she's like, it was so good. And then the next night was the biscuits and gravy. And we're like, oh my goodness, Kine is in heaven right now.
Yeah. So it's not anything crazy. It's not any recipes you've never heard of or anything. It's just simple stuff that you have at home that your family hopefully will like and that will help you with dinner time. So I'm like, if I can just make one thing easier, you know, because it's just a hard time of night when you have stuff to do and you have kids at home or whatever, and you're trying to make dinner. One thing that can help it be easier.
When do you usually come up with your ideas? Like when you're picking something for the day, do you start in the morning, like, or when do you maybe start thinking about dinner?
Usually, so I like to plan for a whole week, honestly.
Oh, okay.
So I go through my fridge. I have an easy way though. I have a way I can help you. I go through my fridge and I just look and see what I have. So if I have like a roast in there, I'm like, well, I could make that for Sunday. If I have chicken, you obviously know what chicken recipes your family likes or whatever. So I just take, like, on a piece of paper, I write Monday through Sunday, and I just write options of what I could make. I could make pork chops, I could make a roast, I could make biscuits and gravy, I could make, you know, I just write them down. And then I do my grocery order accordingly, whatever I'm missing. And I always switch up the days, but I at least know that I have the ingredients to make any of these 7 meals anytime throughout the week. Because I never know. I never know what's gonna come up that day or something, you know? And so it's like, oh, I don't have time to make a roast today, but I have time to make biscuits and gravy, you know? And so I'll just swap them, but I at least know, because that's part of it for me, is if I don't have the stuff in the fridge,
We're eating out.
That's exactly how
I'm gonna
I
be
so
like,
true.
oh, I forgot to set the meat out. We'll just order
That's
pizza.
my biggest, I always do that. I'm like, oh, well, we could have made pork chops.
Why do I feel like it's magically going to appear? Like I'll go in the fridge and there's going to be something different.
Never ever defrost it in the microwave because that's gross. I'm like, I want it to thaw naturally, so I do that all the time. I'm like, oh man, I forgot to shake. So maybe you have other better, simple ideas that I didn't take out the meat. So I'll have biscuits and gravy, right?
Yep, so I have stuff that does take meat, stuff that doesn't, stuff that's crock pot, because some days I have way more time and can do a crock pot meal. Sometimes I only have 30 minutes, so I can't do a crock pot, you know, so I just kind of split them up, and that way I'm like, okay, at least I know that morning, you know, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, so it's easier for me. I can just, I mean, I'm in the fridge all the time getting my kids stuff, so it's like, pull that out or whatever, but yeah.
But the concept is there.
Yes.
And the simplicity of it. I just love seeing the product there, swiping, small little recipe, and then condensed. I started screenshotting it, and then my Mackenzie's like, why are you screenshotting it? Like, it's gonna be there. It's saved there for her. It's like a recipe book on there.
Because
It's
that
so
has happened
awesome.
to all of us before, probably from Pinterest or
Yes.
something. You're like, oh, I have to
Oh, I
take
gotta
it.
say that, right? And
Yes.
that's there.
Yeah,
Yes.
so hopefully when people are like doing their weekly meal planning or whatever, they just go to my page and just see what recipes look
And
good
it's
to
so
them and
diverse,
what they want
like
to do.
such great options.
Can I ask you, Lindsay, do you have a favorite food blogger that you follow and really love?
She's not really a food blogger, but her name's Jordan Page, and she does like her page is Fun, Cheaper, Free, and so she does a lot of just like mom things and ways to like save money eating at home and ways to cook with like reused leftovers and different things like that. So she's probably the one that I follow that I get some of my ideas
kind of your
from.
inspo behind.
And your younger generation, I think you guys probably get everything online. Do you like recipe books?
I don't have any.
Okay, I have
Right,
like
it's not a
15,
thing
and so
anymore.
that's where I go to. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to this recipe book, or I go to this one, and then I write in it and say, yucky, or I'll say, Chris says add more of this, or it's okay, or like Colton's favorite. So I love writing all over in my recipe books.
I've just never had it.
But I kind of wonder if it's generational.
It
that
is.
we all had recipe books, and maybe your
Probably.
generation doesn't.
Probably have these.
Because a lot of those things you don't really use in the recipe book, and this way she's sifting through the recipe books for us and collecting them all into one place.
That's a great idea.
And you could still type on it, Stace, underneath.
Especially picky palettes with the littles. But I love that
it is
idea.
hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
good
You
luck.
found a
Thank
little
you.
niche in the system, and I really like it.
Thank you.
Yep, it's awesome.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, we'll learn about a group of women dedicated to help make changes. Stay with us.